Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking how to appeal a UK parking fine without losing your discount and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like UK PCN Appeal Calculator, Should I Appeal My Parking Fine, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Hello and welcome back to the Cost Saver podcast. Today, we are tackling something that I think, honestly, most of us have dealt with at some point, that dreaded parking ticket. And with me, as always, is Assad.
Hey, Angela. Yeah, this one's it's a topic that comes up a lot, unfortunately. And I think people just assume they have to pay, right? Like the ticket arrives and it's just done.
Right. It always feels like this big, scary official thing, like you must pay this or else. But you're saying that's not necessarily true?
No, not at all. I mean, appealing a UK parking fine correctly can save you anywhere from 50 quid up to 130, which is, that's real money.
130 pounds. Okay, yeah, that's not nothing. So why is this why are so many people getting tickets in the first place?
Oh, the numbers are, honestly, they're wild. In 2021-22, private parking firms alone issued an estimated 8.6 million tickets. 8.6 million. And then councils in London handed out another 5.65 million penalty charge notices. And English councils outside London added a further 4.76 on top of that.
Wait, 8.6 million from private companies?
Yep.
And then basically another 10 million from councils? That's that's absurd. That's just an insane number of tickets.
It is, and that's kind of the point, right? When you've got millions being churned out by cameras, wardens, ANPR systems, errors are inevitable. Signs get obscured, machines break, cameras misread plates, wardens sometimes just get the rules wrong. The system is not infallible.
I hadn't really thought about it like that. So what's the biggest mistake people actually make when they get one?
So it's kind of two extremes. Either they panic pay without even reading the thing properly, or they go the other way and launch into some big appeal without understanding how any of it works. Both cost you money. If you panic pay a 130-pound ticket that you could have overturned, that's 130 quid just gone. But appealing badly can wipe out your 50% early payment discount and leave you facing the full charge.
So you could end up paying more if you mess it up.
Yeah, and sorry, one thing people don't realize, a parking ticket isn't actually a fine in the legal sense, not unless a court has ordered you to pay one. Council PCNs are civil penalties, and private parking tickets are basically invoices dressed up to look official.
Oh, okay, I did not know that. So they're not all the same thing?
No, and this is the single most common mistake drivers make. You have to identify what type of ticket you've got before you do anything else, because it changes everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, go on, break it down for me.
Right. So a council PCN, penalty charge notice, is issued under legislation like the Traffic Management Act 2004. It'll come from your local council, either stuck on your windscreen by a warden or through the post if it was a camera, like a bus lane or box junction thing. And these follow a strict statutory process. You get 28 days to pay or challenge with a 50% discount if you pay within 14 days.
Okay.
And crucially, if you challenge within that 14 days and they reject it, the discount clock usually restarts. You get another 14 days at the discounted rate. That's a legal protection, not a favor.
Wait, really? So if I challenge it and lose, I still get the discount?
Yes, that's the bit people don't realize that. They think challenging is this big gamble where you lose everything if it doesn't work out. But actually, the system is designed to let you try without penalty, at least at that first stage.
Oh, that's actually really reassuring. Okay, so that's council ones. What about the private tickets?
Private tickets are a completely different beast. These come from companies like Parking Eye, Euro Car Parks, Smart Parking, the ones you see at supermarket car parks, retail estates, that sort of thing. They rely on contract law, not traffic legislation. So when you drive onto their land, you're supposedly accepting their terms.
Right?
And here's the thing, you cannot be arrested or lose your license over a private parking ticket.
You can't? I always thought if you got too many, it could affect your driving record somehow.
No, not for private ones. But, and this is important, you can face a county court claim if you just bin them entirely. So don't ignore them. But also don't panic pay. Most legitimate private operators are members of either the British Parking Association or the International Parking Community, and both have appeal schemes.
Okay, so don't ignore them, but don't just pay them either. Got it. And I'm guessing you can't mix up the arguments. Like, you can't use council PCN arguments on a private ticket?
No, if you send a formal appeal on a private ticket citing the Traffic Management Act, you'll just be, well, laughed out of the process, frankly. You have to match your argument to the type of notice. That's really important.
Fair enough. So, deadlines, because I know that's where I would probably fall down. What are we looking at?
Okay, so this is where the industry kind of relies on people missing deadlines, because a missed deadline means the discount evaporates and the full charge kicks in. On a typical 130-pound council PCN, that missed deadline is worth 65 quid to them. So, for council PCNs, first 14 days, you either pay at 50% or lodge an informal challenge. Days 15 to 28, full charge applies, but you can still challenge. Then a notice to owner arrives, usually around 28 to 56 days after the ticket.
That's the formal bit?
Exactly. That's when you make formal representations. And then if you ignore everything, at the charge certificate stage, the charge rises by 50%. So 130 becomes 195.
Ouch. And for private tickets?
Similar idea. Usually a discounted rate in the first 14 days, often around 60 quid instead of 100. And then if the operator rejects your initial appeal, you've got 28 days to escalate to POPLA, that's for BPA members, or the IAs for IPC members.
Right. So basically, the second you get a ticket, the clock is ticking.
Yeah, and the mistake I see constantly is people writing long emotional appeals on day 27, missing the discount window, and then being surprised when the operator drags its feet. Move quickly.
So what kind of evidence do I actually need? Because I imagine just saying I didn't do it isn't going to cut it.
No, an appeal without evidence is just a complaint, really. Adjudicators deal in facts, timestamps, photographs. So, photographs of the signage at the location, showing what it said and how visible it was. Photos of your vehicle in situ, any obstructions, faded lines, missing markings. Time-stamped parking machine receipts or app confirmations. Bank statements if a machine was faulty. Witness statements even from passengers or nearby shop staff.
And I guess you don't send the originals.
Never send originals. Scan or photograph everything. Keep the originals in a folder. You might need them months later. Gathering evidence usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes if you do it on the day. And that small investment is what separates a winning appeal from a hopeful one.
20 to 30 minutes. That's nothing for potentially saving 65 quid or more.
Exactly. Oh, and one thing, video evidence. If you upload it to public platforms like YouTube, parking operators can find it and potentially use it against you. Keep sensitive evidence in private cloud storage and only share through official appeal channels.
Oh, good tip. I wouldn't have thought of that. Okay, so what about the actual grounds for appeal? Like, what actually works?
So the strongest grounds tend to be signage was inadequate or obscured, and you've got photos from the day. That's gold dust. The machine was broken and you attempted payment. Bank records help there. You were loading or unloading and the restriction permits it. The vehicle had been sold or you weren't the keeper. DVLA records support that. Or the PCN itself contains an error, like wrong registration, wrong location, wrong date. Any of those can invalidate it.
And what about, like, medical emergencies?
Yeah, mitigating circumstances like medical emergencies can work too, if you've got hospital records to back it up. There's actually a really good real-world example. Sarah from Leeds received a 70-pound PCN after her parking app failed to register her payment. She photographed the machine's error message, downloaded her bank statement showing the failed transaction, submitted both with a 2-paragraph appeal. Council canceled it within 3 weeks. Total time invested? About 40 minutes. Saved 70 quid.
40 minutes for 70 pounds? That's pretty good hourly rate.
Yeah, better than most side hustles.
What about the weaker grounds, like things people try that just don't fly?
I didn't see the sign. A driver has a duty to look, so that doesn't really work. I was only there briefly. Most restrictions apply from the first minute. And my favorite, other cars were doing the same thing, which is just completely irrelevant to your case.
Yeah, the but everyone else was doing it defense. Classic.
Works about as well as it did in school.
So here's the thing I keep wondering. Is it always worth appealing? Like, is there a point where you just think, actually, my time is worth more than this?
That's a really important question. Because if you spend 6 hours preparing an appeal to save 65 quid, you've effectively paid yourself around 11 pounds an hour. And for some people, that's just not worth the hassle. You have to factor in the realistic chance of winning, the time cost, the stress of a drawn-out process.
Right.
But, and this is important, there's no fee to appeal. Not to the council, not to the independent adjudicator. And you almost never have to attend a hearing. Most cases are decided on paper, so the actual barriers are lower than people think.
What about the credit score thing? Because I think that's what scares a lot of people with the private tickets especially.
Yeah, so appealing won't damage your credit score. The only way it affects your credit is if a private operator wins a county court judgment against you and you fail to pay within 30 days. That's a very specific scenario. And you can withdraw an appeal at any stage before the adjudicator's decision. Paying the outstanding amount just ends the process.
Oh, okay. So you can kind of back out if you change your mind.
Exactly.
What about, I wanted to ask about bus lane and box junction tickets, because I feel like those are the ones that really catch people off guard.
Yeah, those are almost always camera issued, so they arrive by post. And the evidence against you is usually a short video clip that you can watch online using the reference number on the notice. My advice? Watch it before you appeal. Because if the footage clearly shows the contravention, your grounds narrow considerably. But, and this is the interesting one, box junction PCNs in particular are frequently overturned when you can show you entered the box while your exit was clear and only became stationary due to circumstances beyond your control.
Oh, interesting. So if someone cuts in front of you or traffic suddenly stops?
Right, exactly. If the footage supports that, it's a genuine ground and worth pursuing.
What about hire cars? Because that happened to a friend of mine, got a ticket in a rental and the whole thing was just a nightmare.
Yeah, hire cars are tricky. The ticket goes to the registered keeper first, which is the hire company, and they'll typically transfer liability to you and slap on an admin fee, often 30 to 60 quid on top. And a lot of people don't realize you can still appeal, but you need to move fast because the hire company will usually just pay it and bill you regardless. Ask them to hold off, or at least share the ticket details with you quickly so you can lodge an appeal in time.
That's really useful to know. And blue badge holders, did they ever get caught up in this?
They do, yeah. Blue badge misuse is treated seriously, but genuine holders who get PCNs by mistake usually have strong grounds. Photograph the badge in the window with the clock set correctly, keep records of your entitlement, and appeal promptly. It's usually pretty straightforward for them.
Okay, so if someone gets a ticket today, like right now, they're listening to this and there's a ticket on their windscreen, walk me through what they should do, step by step.
Right. First thing, don't panic. Seriously, take a breath. Then read the ticket carefully. Figure out if it's a council PCN or a private ticket. Then immediately get your phone out. Photograph the ticket itself, note the exact date and time, and then go photograph the signage, your car in position, anything that could be relevant. And then, this is the bit people skip, calendar every single deadline that same day.
Yeah, because a ticket found under a wet wiper on a Sunday can lose you, 3 days before you even...
Exactly, before you even start. And then, depending on the type, you go to your council's parking page or the operator's website. It's printed on the ticket. And most challenges can be lodged online in under 15 minutes if your evidence is ready.
15 minutes, that's it?
If your evidence is already photographed, yeah. Do it the same day and you'll never be caught out by a missed deadline.
Honestly, I wish I'd known all this the last time I got a ticket. I definitely panic paid. Anyway, Let me try and pull this together for everyone. So, first, know what type of ticket you have. Council PCN or private. They're completely different things with different rules.
Right.
Second, act fast. Photograph everything, note the date, calendar the deadlines. That 14-day window is crucial for preserving your discount.
Yep.
Third, keep your appeal factual and tied to specific grounds. No rants, no emotions, just evidence and a clear argument. And fourth, don't be afraid to escalate. There are independent adjudicators, and it's free to appeal.
That's a really solid summary. And I just add, don't ignore the notice to owner if you get one. That's your formal opportunity. Ignoring it means you lose access to the independent adjudicator later, and that's the killer mistake.
Good point. All right, Assad, thank you so much. This has been genuinely really helpful. I feel like I actually understand the process now, which is kind of a first.
My pleasure, Angela. And honestly, the system is designed to make quick payment the easy option. That's exactly why so many valid appeals never happen. Just take the time. It really can pay off.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time on the Cost Saver podcast. Quick side note, this guide connects with other Cost Saver blogs, especially mistakes to avoid when moving cities, hidden costs commuters miss, and checklist for verifying local service providers.
Exactly. And reading those together helps you connect the dots across your household budget, not just as one topic in isolation.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like UK PCN Appeal Calculator, Should I Appeal My Parking Fine, right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include gov.uk, Challenge a Parking Ticket, and Money Saving Expert, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this Cost Saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone who could put these ideas to work this week.
Your next step is simple. Try UK PCN Appeal Calculator, Should I Appeal My Parking Fine, then read Mistakes to Avoid When Moving Cities, and use them together to take action today.